Hey, Justin Parsons here with Titleist at the Sea Island Golf Performance Centre. As I've kind of navigated the last 10 or 15 years teaching golf, it's become clear to me that the fundamentals, the way that we stand, how we grip the golf club, how we set up to the golf ball has a massive impact on the golf swing. And I think sometimes we see that from back to front. I think sometimes we see the bigger picture in the golf swing with wrist structures and arm structures and hip movements and all of those things. And we try and do those before we do the fundamentals. So I think it's important for you to remember that there's a lot of things about your golf setup that are going to have a big impact on how your golf swing is going to operate and how it's going to move. So for example, if I were a player who was going to tend to aim to the right too much, my golf swing, of course, is going to start to get flatter. I'm going to potentially get inside. I'm going to overhook the ball. So by aiming too far right, that's going to have a big knock-on effect to everything I'm doing in my golf swing. Conversely to that, if I were to aim square or a little bit more to the left, my golf swing is going to move in a very different line. So consistent alignment has a massive impact for everything that we're doing in the golf swing. Of course, the grip and the quality of grip, that's going to impact how your hands are going to move, how your wrists are going to move, and how your arms and shoulders are also going to move. One of the things that I notice with the best players in the world that they're very consistent with is their distance from the ball and their posture. If you can imagine, the shaft of the club has a certain impact in how the golf club's going to move. The line of the shaft is part of the balance of the piece of equipment we have in our hands. And how we set up to the golf ball, so how we hinge our hips, how we get our spine into position, and where our balance points are, that has a huge impact then for how the golf club's going to swing up and around our body. So we know that if you were to be too far away from the golf ball and you're going to get off balance during your golf swing, your swing itself is going to move into different positions. We know that if you're aiming in different directions, your swing's going to move into different positions. So there are so many compensations that occur from faulty fundamentals. And certainly in my world, I always try and trace a player's initial assessment back to their fundamentals. It's somewhere where we can build the foundations of what they're doing from. It's something that we can revisit without confusing them. And of course, I, like any other teacher, I have my own preferences. I see so many different golf swings out there on tour. I see different wrist alignments. I see slightly different alignments. I see different postures. I really don't think there's one way to do this for everybody. But I would say that from a perspective of some of the things that I would look for from a down the line angle, although annoyingly it's something I suffer from myself, I like to see people staying in posture through their golf swing, certainly through their backswing. I think that's a very big part of it. I like to see the change of direction from the backswing to the forward swing. I don't like seeing a lot of unnecessary swing up here when the body is stopped turning. So I like to really look for good balance and good sequencing and good posture. More than perhaps I might just look at positions and different things that we could kind of quarrel over. So I think if your fundamentals are good, your body is in a position where you're asking it to do things that you're capable of, and your sequencing and your balance is good, that's a good way to start to swing the club effectively.